I'm so happy to be here. Someone has said that friends are the family you choose. I feel like I'm in a wonderful family, don't you? We are a family. And that family notion, I think, makes it all the more warm and heartfelt. So thank you, Dan, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity to say how blessed I am to have been in your service. I want to thank you for your kind and gracious attitude and values that you presented to me today. Please know that I'm really honored by this recognition. When I was first asked my response to having this building named for me, I replied, during my 25-year tenure as president of KSU, I had the unwavering loyalty and support of my family, our faculty, our staff, administration, and students, and this wonderful community. I share this moment with all of us. Let me say again that I do share this moment, and I'm grateful to you for making this moment happen. Now a memory. Our family were vacationing in Florida in late July of 1981. Earlier I had interviewed for the presidency of Kennesaw College, but I hadn't heard anything for a while, and I figured I was out of the running. Like most Americans at the time, I was watching the world of Prince Charles and Diana on TV, and I received the phone call. I went into the next room to talk and then came back all excited. And I told Joel, I said, I've been offered and accepted the presidency at Kennesaw. Fantastic, he said. What's your salary? I don't know. I didn't ask. He said, did you make your provisions for me? We didn't talk about it. Did we get a moving allowance? It never came up. When do we have to be there? In 3 weeks. Joel gave me that exasperated look that only an aggrieved husband can muster, and he shrugged his shoulders, and he said, let's go tell the children. Let's go home and get packing. And so it began. And so it began. An adventure that has left me rich in memories all along the way. There's a saying that your memories must not overshadow your dreams. Your dreams are your aspirations for the future. And now, as KSU moves into its bright future, I find a fond hope, I have that hope, that would always seek to be first and foremost a university of meaning. Let me illustrate. In the aftermath of the terrorist attack in New York on September the 11th, remember that, 2001? The speaker came to our campus and related this incident. A man emerged on that fateful day from the rubble and the ruin of the second tower, clutching his briefcase, blanketed with dust and debris, his clothes torn, his face covered with cuts. A policeman approached him and said, "Sir, come with me. You're in shock." The man pulled himself up to his full height, and he said, as he stared at the policeman, "I'm not in shock. I am fully cognizant for the first time in my life of what's really important." Fully cognizant for what really matters. That sent a shiver through the audience. That set us to thinking, how profound to have a shock of recognition, to be fully cognizant and aware of what really matters and of what really is important in our lives. At about the same time, I was reading Carl Sandburg's Remembrance Rock. In that novel, the protagonist goes once a year to a particular rock and asks themselves 3 questions. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? I was inspired. I wanted our university to be a university of meaning, as you all do too. Not just a collection of courses, not just a place to drop in and pick up a degree or get a certificate. I wanted, as we all want, our students to be concerned with how to make a living, but also to how to live a meaningful life, not just to make a living. So I had a 32-ton rock. Some of you will remember this. put on campus. And at graduation, I gave each student a little rock wrapped in a little black mesh net with attached list of questions. Poor old Linda had to wrap all those rocks together. And it was supposed to say, "Stop by the Remembrance Rock." And I urged them and asked all of us these questions. Who am I? Where do I come from? Where am I going? What's the meaning of what I'm doing? What is my legacy? How do I matter? And the poet Mary Oliver poses these children questions. Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Pondering these and like questions beckons us to turn within, to remove ourselves momentarily from the noise and the clutter of the marketplace, to go into our own silence, to explore, to discover, to more fully realize the Greek imperative, know thyself. So let me propose here on this day that we can do the students no greater service than to set aside a space in our new recreation center where the students can go to reflect, to ask themselves the important questions, to meditate upon matters of the spirit as well as matters of the mind. But we must note that we do not live in splendid isolation. We do not live alone. Meaning in our lives can only come through our relationships with others. Indeed, our lives are a web of relationships with others, with families, groups, teams, communities. We not only want to live well, we want to live well in harmony and in peace, satisfying relationships. We want to afford each other dignity, inclusion, and opportunity. We want to be what one writer calls good weavers in the web of humanity. Isn't that good? Good weavers. We understand that we're part of something larger than ourselves, and that we can draw strength and resolve from each other. So together, all together, we must work to a bright and bold future for ourselves. A future where we honor diversity, pursue social justice, promote civil discourse, treat each other with dignity and respect, care for the least among us, caring about each other, and caring for each other may very well be the noblest expression of our humanity. The call is clear. Let us nurture, support, and encourage each other, inspire and help each other to be our best selves and to realize our most daring dreams. Let us act with courage to serve the common good, and let us to shape a broad future for our world. Our time is now. Let us all be partners and allies in shaping for our world a bright future. Let us together create for our world what the poet Alan Brown John refers to as a commonwealth of decency. A world wherein all people have a decent opportunity to craft for themselves a decent life of their own choosing. It will engage us in the midest of struggles. So struggle we must, struggle we will. And I say along with the poet Nikos Kazantzakis, I struggle to discover how to signal my companions, to say in time a simple word, a password. Let us unite. Let us hold each other tightly. Let us merge our hearts. Let us create for earth a brain and a heart. Let us give human meaning to the superhuman struggle. To the struggle. Thank you. For God's speed.